What up, YouTube? How y'all doing today? Today I bring you a different video than I'm usually making for y'all. The idea for this video started at the beginning of the NFL season. And now that this team's NFL season is over, I now bring you this video. Today we're going to talk about the Giants' success. Now, not necessarily why they succeeded, but who helped them succeed more. Was it Daniel Jones or was it Saquon Barkley? Now, we're going to transition into the next part where you'll see all stats on my computer, everything that I wrote down on paper and I put on the computer. This is Daniel Jones's 4th year, and this is Saquon Barkley's 5th year in the league. They spent 4 years together, about 42 or 43 games, won those numbers. That's if that's right. But if you do all the math, the games they played, and you take the lower number, because then that would have been make sense. I believe it's 42, 43. Who had the most impact on the Giants in the past 4 or 5 years? Mainly 4 years, as Daniel Jones was their quarterback. It all stemmed from the start where they're winning football games, one-score games, really not like blowing out opponents, but there was a success in the Giants scheme. I give a lot of credit to Brian Dable. He should be coach of the year. But something to me didn't seem right, and I wanted a full year of stats from both Barkley and Jones. They both played 16 games. They didn't play week 18 because even if they won, they lost. They had the 6th seed no matter what. So I took the stats from this year. I looked at stats. I took their career stats. I kind of looked at Daniel Jones's stats over his course of his career, individual games, and kind of went through all that, which you're about to see. And I'll get into more detail as I go through on what I've discovered. So now we're going to go transition to the next video. If it's blurry, or I'll do best I can, I'm going to be recording it on Twitch just so that everyone can see the stats and so that I'm not going to be sitting here holding up a piece of a notebook. So on to the next clip. Now the second clip of the YouTube video. Here on sheet 1, you can see on the left side is all Daniel Jones's stats for the game: yards, TD, interception. And on the right, Saquon Barkley's attempts, yards, and touchdowns. Colors we'll get to in just a moment. So let me scroll down. So they ended up with a 9-7-1 record, which made them the 6th seed in the playoffs. Now, this is what I mean by who had more success and who made a bigger impact on the Giants. So week 1 against the Titans, they won that game. That's why this is green. But since this is Saquon Barkley's 5th year, technically, he could have gone to a different team if the Giants didn't pick up his option. So if you take away this column right here at the end, is if Saquon Barkley was not on the Giants as of in the 2022 season. So they won. Saquon Barkley. He scored in the third, a touchdown, at two-point conversion with less than 2 minutes in the 4th quarter. You take that away, the Giants don't win this game. So there's a loss. Panthers game is a bunch of kicking. Really can't say much there, so you can give them the win. The Cowboys, they lost anyway, even though he scored in the third, beat the Bears. Packers. See, Saquon Barkley scored in the 4th quarter. He does not score here, they lose. So that's a loss. Again, same thing here. Saquon Barkley scored in the 4th quarter, less than 2 minutes. They lose that game if he's not there. Jags, they beat Seahawks. They just lost to Texans. They beat, that was fine. Lions, they lost to. Cowboys, they lost. Commanders, they tied. This is the Blues, the tie. Loss, win. Vikings, they lost anyway, even though he scored with 2 minutes left, and then they didn't play. So, essentially, you take the Ravens, the Packers, and the Titans game. And if you take away Saquon Barkley, they lose those games. they would become 6-10-1. If you leave everything else as would be, they would not be a playoff team. And Daniel Jones wouldn't be. There would be no discussion of who had the bigger impact, because it would clearly be Saquon. Saquon is the bigger impact. Now, you may ask what these numbers are, or the colors for this column. So here, I averaged, how many completions and attempts, throughout the year. I averaged them out. And it's about 20 completions to 30 attempts a year, which is yellow. Then you have pink, which is below. And then you have green, where he had over 20 completions, but less than 30 attempts. And then the blue is over 30 attempts, but less than 20 completions. So you see, as it says here, it's 7 games of average or better, 6 with below, 1 with just the completions, and 2 with the attempts. So he's either average or below. There's very few games that where it's a little different. You look at the games. Packers, Jaguars, and the Seahawks. Now this stretch right here was a tough one, because they went to London, came home, went to Jacksonville, and then they went to Seattle. They just had a very hard stretch. They almost lost this game against the Jags. It was just a 1-score game, and they were on that 1-yard line. So that could also have been a loss, but we're going to leave it as it is, as a win, because Saquon didn't really do much. So, but yeah, this stretch right here is probably his toughest stretch, and then it kind of leads into the Texans game. So, but you see, he played 16 games, and you're talking almost half of them he was average or better, which is good. But you're talking almost the other half he was below average. So you really see how much Saquon Barkley is needed in this Giants offense for them to succeed, while Daniel Jones can be just average, essentially. So now we're going to go over to this next sheet. So this shows everything Daniel Jones, 2019, 2020, 2021, and 2022. So you see everything he's done, career, 34 games, 54 games, 53 started, 21, 31, and 1. So still a losing record, and everything. Now, you see the two differences right here. This is his average through his whole career. He's 15 for 8.5, or essentially 9 interceptions, and for almost 3,000 yards a year. He hit 3,000 yards twice. He almost hit it here, but didn't play at all. So, and then this is just 2019. So you see how much this year. This essentially shows he threw the ball less in 2022 than he did in his career, because he threw less interceptions between a year. So the difference is almost 13 completions to 12 attempts, which is a little off, but that's how it calculates out. Averaged another 101 yards. TD stayed the same. He's a 15 touchdown passing. This is just passing. And he threw 1.1 less interceptions between the 2019, the 21, and then the 2022, which essentially is all this. Now we go over to this third sheet. This is every pass completion, pass attempt. This is passing. This is just like how this was back here, all these colors, through 2019, 2020, and 2021. Now you see same colors and where he didn't play. So I averaged them all out: 20 for 35, 20 for 32, and 21 for 33. As you can clearly see, 7 seems to be is literally the average or better every year. He seems to have 7 average or better games in passing. 2019 he had 2 below, 2020 had 4, and 2021 he had 3. The completions were only better: 1, 2, 1, and then attempts 3, 1, and none. So this is probably 2021 was worth here. Also missed 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 games. Actually 5, because the DNP, these are his bye weeks. So Look at these numbers: 20 for 35, 20 for 32, 21 for 31, and he was 20 for 30. He 100% threw the ball less this year. Now, I didn't get the passing yards, but there are definitely, you look at here, 42, 44, try to see, let's see. There was twice he had over 40 attempts at passing the ball. Go back to here. 40. We can probably figure this out real quick. 1, 2, 3. 3 straight weeks right there in 2019. 40. There's another 2. That's 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So you're looking at 11 games where he had to throw the ball 40 or more times. Versus this year, which he only did it twice. He only did it twice. And they weren't even in, the same weeks. The Lion game, he had to throw the ball because they were really down bad, and the Viking game was really close. So you see how much Daniel Jones needs Saquon Barkley. Without Saquon Barkley, he's throwing the ball a lot more. And as I clearly stated, you don't have Saquon Barkley. They're 6-10-1 team and not make the playoffs. And it's not the head coach. It's now the quarterback. So they'd be looking for a quarterback essentially this year. So, and personally, he's just, he averages 15 touchdowns a year. That is literally mathematically his average. Yes, interceptions. It is what it is, but when you're 15 and almost 9 for TDs and interceptions, that's really not good. I know he can run. He's got rushing touchdowns. I completely understand that. But this is just passing, like quarterback, passing. Your running backs do the running. Yes, I know there's plenty of quarterbacks that run and score, sometimes just from the 1-yard line. Others, it's not really such a big deal. So I know if I'm not looking at the camera, I'm just looking at my stats. So clearly all the numbers are breaking down. I support stats and everything, and I'm clearly showing you that this is everything. And you can even look at, I got these straight off ESPN or Pro Football Reference. So it's not like I'm fudging numbers. And then all the other numbers that you get all these numbers from are simply just calculations. All calculations from taking his career, dividing by how many games he's. I think I took it out of 54 because he did. I took it out of games, not games started. So, but you can clearly see the difference between his first 3 years and 2022. That yes, 2022 was essentially his best season, best in most games started and played, most passing yards, not most touchdowns, least amount of interceptions, second most in touchdowns, and the best record he had. And clearly you see 317 for 472. Clearly beats out every other year. Also, he's played most games this career. So personally, for the Giants' success, they need to retain Saquon Barkley. Now, I'm not saying they shouldn't retain Daniel Jones, but they definitely need Saquon Barkley because clearly, let's see, even if they won these games, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 games out of the 16 he played in, he scored a touchdown in the second half. The other times, what do you got? 1, 2, 3, 4. He scored 4 times in the first half. So it really shows you how much, again, they score in the first half, they score, all that. But they rely a lot on Saquon in the second half to score versus the first half. You can clearly see, when did Daniel, week 1, Cowboys, he had 2 against the Lions. That was just a rough game. And clearly ended up being his most passing game. Another one against the Vikings, they lost there. So you kind of see where errors were made and definitely can fix them up. So the Giants' success to me relies heavily on Saquon Barkley and not Daniel Jones. And again, I know I don't include the rushing. Daniel Jones did have his fair share of rushing yards and rushing touchdowns. but you're not talking like an 80-yard rushing touchdown. That happens every so often. We're talking you're in the red zone. You find an open pocket and they're scoring. So Dan Jones is an average quarterback. Roughly he'll complete 20 or 30 go 20 for 30, if not just a little bit more, clearly, So that's about an average game for him. And if he does any more than that, things go wrong, as we clearly see. He had 2 interceptions here. I don't even know if they won or lost these games, but majority of the time they did lose. But look at my times. Like, he threw it 51 times against that in there. Was it 2021 week 6? We can actually look that up. Look it up. Daniel Jones. Week 6 versus week 6, 2021. We can probably figure all this out. See all regular season. No, we don't want that crap. Not what I want. So wrong thing. Just look up Daniel Jones. See, now we're adding on to the video here. See, recently clicked. This is where I got all my information from. Let's see. 2021. And it was week 6, correct? Week 6 versus the Rams. 38-11, 29 for 51. So clearly a better team. That was the Super Bowl team last year, because that was 2021. So clearly shows, it was just a really good team. They did lose, so and then they get hurt. So for me, as I said, it is Saquon Barkley they need more than they need Daniel Jones. It's nice to have Daniel Jones. He can move, but if he starts throwing the ball too much, things start to happen. Like 40 times through an interception, 40 times through 2 interceptions. This was a below average game. This was about an average game, and should be one more. 1, 2. That's it. So yeah, average, below average, and average. So most of his games had an average, but it's him throwing the ball. He needs to moderately keep go 20 for 30, 20, keep in that range of throwing the football, and the rest of the time essentially giving it to his running backs. And I think the Giants will find, in my opinion, they will find success in doing that. So that's it I got for this video. I can always put a link up in my description for you guys to look at this video. Any questions, feel free to comment, and I will gladly answer. Clearly, the stats are all here. Not much more I can really say. So, but other than that, I hope you guys did enjoy this video. Remember, like, follow, subscribe, do whatever. Turn on the notifications. Remember, never miss a new video. If you want me to do more of these videos in the future, let me know. I would gladly like to. This research took me about a week to get everything right, to make sure I had all the numbers correct and everything. So that's pretty much it. So I'll catch you guys on the next one.